We are live. I can tell right now. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the mentorship meetup, actually our mentorship Facebook Live event. We started doing this a few years ago, and this year it's kind of nice because I guess there is a perk to having COVID or having a pandemic that everybody is kind of where they need to be. And so now we have more people to come to us and have guest speakers be in attendance for this. So welcome. My name is Lisa Winker. I am with Indiana State University, and I am a co-chair for the mentorship committee.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Duttmers. I'm a college counselor at Loyola Academy, and I am a co-chair of Lisa's. I am a co-chair of mentorship, and what we'd like to also introduce a person who's not here today, but definitely want to give her a shout out. Our other co-chair, yes, Margaret Jones. She is with Columbia College, Chicago. And I'd like to open it up to our guests today. Please go around and feel free to introduce yourselves.
I'll start. Make this easy. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan O'Rourke. I am with Providence College as a regional, and I am currently serving as IACAC president. Tony, I'm handing it to you.
Hey, everyone. Tony Menestra. I am the college counselor at DePaul College Prep in Chicago, and right behind Megan, the president-elect and conference chair. We'll get to that, spoiler alert, a little further down the road. Julie.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Julie Nelson. I'm the Regional Recruitment Director for Xavier University and was honored to be named last year's Mentor of the Year. So I'd like to introduce my mentee, Allison.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Pudlick. I'm the Chicago Regional Admissions Representative for the University of Alabama, and incredibly honored to be the mentee match of the year with Julie. So we have a pretty solid match going, and I'm glad to benefit from her mentorship.
Well, awesome. You'll also see a little picture down there of our wonderful Erin Hoover. I don't think she's going to pop on to introduce herself, but she's amazing and really is the glue that holds us all together, especially during this pandemic. She's amazing. She is my go-to guru. Love her. So welcome. And so I guess really what we want to talk to you about, first of all, it's National Mentorship Month. Yes, there is such a thing. And I can't tell you how much mentorship has meant to me and in my career, I mean, in my life in general, but really in my career as being an admissions counselor. I started off having a mentor that is, you know, the best, Peter Pitts. He is recently retired, but just a career admissions counselor who is still giving me his advice. He's wonderful. And I've also had a couple other mentees that I've been able to be paired with. So if you want to be a mentor or a mentee, Kelly, you want to talk to them about that process?
Yes, absolutely. So we always welcome members of IACAC to become either a mentor or a mentee. We have three different categories for people to register for. One would be kind of like a new college admissions counselor who's looking for help. Also, if you have a little bit more experience, 3 years or more, you can look at middle management, becoming a mentor and mentee with that. And then also, we also have the high school side, so high school mentors and mentees. So we welcome everyone, to get involved, whether you want to be a mentor or a mentee. We share the love all the time and give back to our colleagues. So that said, you can always go onto our website, and that can link you to registering either to become a mentor or mentee. And we've also shifted it to our online website where you can log in and go through the process. We also ask when either the mentors or mentees register, we ask you a series of questions, and that's because we try to do really beneficial matchups in terms of your background experience as well as the person you're going to be partnered with. So we love to do our matches. We just did a round about an hour ago, and we welcome everyone to be a part of the process.
Yes, and going through that process, please be patient with us because we don't just match you up with anybody. We take a look at all the criteria and all the details that you add in there. I do want to let you know that we take a look at, even if you have special requests, perhaps you want a woman mentor, or you want someone who's been seasoned, or maybe you're a person of color who wants to be matched with another person of color. We try our very best to match you with your requests. Sometimes that can't be honored because we might not have that match, but please be patient because we actually reach out to people when you have those specific requests who might not have had the opportunity to fill out those applications. So we do really go out and reach out to people that we think that might be a great match for you too, that might not be in the pool. So so be patient with us with that. And then what we do is we match up people. We try to have them meet up. Apparently right now we can't do that in person. So it's a lot of online things. But in the past, we've been able to meet up with our mentors at mentorship meetups, which are really events that anyone can come to. If you're in this occupation, in this world of higher ed, we encourage you to come, even if you're not a member with IACAC, because I think through coming, you're going to see the amazingness that happens there, the networking that takes place, and just the camaraderie. It's really a family that we have, I feel, that we've built up. So so take a look there and come to one of our mentorship meetups, and we'll touch base on some of those that we've done and that are coming up. But at the end of the school year, we usually all attend conference. And again, Tony's going to touch base on that. But we then vote on mentorship match of the year, like who has had this really incredible experience that they can go ahead and share with other people. And so last year we were able to let our membership know that Julie and Allison were our mentorship match of the year. So do you guys want to go ahead and talk to everybody about your relationship and your mentorship experiences?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, go ahead, kick us off, Allison, from your perspective.
Yeah, well, I can start by just kind of talking about why I signed up for mentorship and how this led to this really great relationship that I have with Julie. But I was in higher education for 4 years, and I took a job change from being an in-state recruiter in Missouri to coming to Illinois and being a regionally based recruiter. So I was really looking to get connected and establish some great relationships and kind of look forward to the future of what it would be like to establish a career in higher education. So when I was filling out the mentorship profile, I had mentioned that I did want a more seasoned rep to be partnered with, just because I wanted to hear their experience through the whole match process. So lo and behold, I was paired with Julie, and I couldn't be more pleased with my experience and our relationship that we've built. Just from the start, Julie reached out and we met at a Panera, and I talked her ear off for like 2 or 3 hours, some odd change there, but she just really heard me out about my passions of higher education, diversity, inclusion, and equity. And just from that initial touch point, we then were able to establish, okay, how can I get better connected into IACAC? And we started carpooling to college fairs, and she's just a really great sounding board. So I've just been really thankful for our mentorship match.
I have to laugh. Whenever we say seasoned, it's code for old. Like at this point, I'm not seasoned anymore. It's like, when you go to a fancy restaurant and they're like, it's crusted. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Like if you roll that tenderloin in salt and pepper and whatever. So, but I am a tenderloin. Expensive.
You're Portillo's. You're a classic. You're a staple. Everybody loves you. That's how I see it.
There you go. Thank you. So my experience, certainly I've been doing this for many years. And my experience was really the mentorship committee, and the mentorship process was how I got involved in IACAC. To be really honest, that was one of the first committees that I volunteered for. I think I've been on the committee most, if not all, of my time in IACAC, because I think it is so vitally important to what we do. And the piece of our profession that I think makes it so unique and so fulfilling is the fact that we are so willing to share. It's not that, Megan at Providence has secrets that she won't tell me, and then I won't tell Allison, and then, we won't tell Lisa. That's not the way that works. We've all tried different tactics to recruit students, to build relationships with families, to do our jobs better. And so my role, the way I see it, having having done admissions since before there was the internet to email students, is really to say, hey, there are no secrets, there are no bad questions, but there's lots of people with really good ideas. And let me be, I told Allison this the other day, it's kind of like, when you have Legos, some Legos have a pokey thing on one end and the hole on the other, but then you always have those Legos that have the pokey things on both ends, right? So it's not a one-way connection, it's a two-way connection. I'm the Lego with the pokey thing on both ends. Like, let me connect you to the people I know, but also let me get my energy and my fire and my drive, like stoke that by meeting these new people with questions that make me think, what am I doing? Why do I do what I do? How do I do what I do? Is this the best way to do it? And so being paired with Allison, it was really awesome in a lot of ways. Certainly the fact that, remember Panera? God, remember when we could just go sit at a Panera? But we are we lived very close to each other. So I was like, hey, come on a afternoon, this is work, this is professional development, come meet me at Panera. And we did. We sat there for hours, and it was like we had known each other our whole lives. It was pretty fabulous. And really impressed with her questions, but also too, we had a lot of things in common. And so it was just a really easy conversation. And from then on, I was like, come on, you're coming with us. So connected her to the IAS committee because that's a passion of hers, but also too then introduced her to some of the other regionals to say, again, here's what we do. There's no secrets, there's no tricks. It's just we're a big family, and if that kid ends up at my school, great. And if not, they end up at yours, and that's great too, because that's their fit. So I can't speak enough, I think, about the mentoring that goes on within ICAC, whether it's formally through this process or simply just, finding that person at a college fair. Remember those college fairs where, they look like they're that kid, that junior high kid in the lunchroom, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And somebody's always going to grab you and say, come on, let's do this. So get involved. That would be my push, whether you feel like, hey, this is a pandemic, I don't know how we all don't know how it's going to work because it's a pandemic. So, make some friends virtually through the mentorship program. And then one day again, when the gates open up and we can all, walk into the 214 fair or whatever it is, we'll have already started this process. So I highly encourage you, fill out that application, be part of this program.
Well, thanks, you guys. I'm sure a lot of people aspire to have the kind of relationship you guys have. And I don't know if Julie mentioned, she's a past president of IACAC as well. So, so she does have a lot to offer everybody. And I kind of think of her as my mentor too, even though she's younger than me, because I know I can always, yeah, you are. You are. I think, yeah, you are. Anyway, but I know I can always reach to her for questions and things like that. And I think that that's the kind of community that we build here. So it's not just about the matches, it is about the networking and getting those kind of relationships built. And, we're all here for students and their families. That's the common ground. And so whether that means you're referring somebody to another institution because your institution is not the right fit, or maybe you have a first gen student. I just had this happen this week where a first gen student that I helped find a home at another institution because she wasn't the right fit for my institution, that person went above and beyond. I can't even tell you, life changing experience that she's had. And I'm giving you a shout out, Omar, because I can't even tell you how much you filled my heart to help that student. And I also see that my mentorship match of the year when I won it is on. So hi, Kate, how are you? And then also shouting out to Margaret Jones, our co-chair did just pop in. I don't know if you saw her there, but there's Margaret. So I wanted to say hi to her and give her the opportunity to say hello as well.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Hi, everybody. I'm Margaret Jones. I'm with Columbia College Chicago, one of the co-chairs of Mentorship, and I'm super excited to be here. Just ran from downtown filming a video, and I just got back to my apartment. So here we are.
Yay, I'm so happy that she's here. So I think the next thing that we want to kind of talk about, since we have been talking about mentorship, is that we go into IACAC, the whole organization that was built around. So our current president is Megan O'Rourke. So Megan, you want to take it from here and talk about everything IACAC?
Julie, thanks for that lovely transition that you did. That was perfect. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm so glad that you're able to join us today. I think for me, one of the things that Amy Thompson, who's our current past president of IACAC, she's at York High School. One thing that we keep talking about is how difficult, whether that's emotionally, physically, mentally, maybe all three, this past year has been. And I don't mean 2020 as a whole. I really mean kind of the start of the pandemic, which it's almost been a year, right? From March until now, how that's kind of been taxing on a lot of people. And I want to, I guess, address that, or just know that we as an organization are aware of it. We're trying to, I think, figure out how we as IACAC can support you in this time, because we all know, even with some of the good news that's coming out of Washington, D.C. recently with vaccinations and what appears to be kind of more momentum behind vaccinations, we most likely will be doing virtual programming as an organization and college fairs and all of that kind of thing for the next 4 to 6 months, maybe longer. And we have to be realistic about that, right? Like, I want to name that we're all probably worn out. We're all tired. One of the things, though, that really fills me with a lot of joy and has helped a lot in this time when we cannot be together, when we basically sit and stare at our computer screens for a majority of the day, is by working with and being involved with IACAC. So I've been a member of IACAC for a long time, have been a part of many committees. And I think one of the coolest things from this vantage point, which I feel so lucky to be able to do, serve as the president of IACAC, is how different and varied the work that happens kind of underneath all of the umbrella, kind of the umbrella of IACAC within all of the different committees. And for those of you that are really thinking about your New Year's resolutions, maybe you don't make resolutions, maybe you have goals for the year, whatever it's going to be, I think this is maybe a way for you to fill another bucket. The work that we do, it isn't integral to the work that you're doing necessarily in your offices, right? Like, the two things sometimes are separate, they are connected, but your work obviously with your institution comes first. But these opportunities that IACAC provides really can supplement what you're doing, what you're learning through your position at your in your high school counselor job, in your college admissions job, in your financial aid job, whatever it is, right? And that's really the role or the goal of IACAC, is to provide that support, provide that education, provide those opportunities for PD, and provide those opportunities for social involvement, right? I think many people that get involved in this organization, that stay in the organization, that stay in higher ed, have mentors, have built relationships, are trying to find ways to stay connected to people. So in this time that is truly difficult for us because we can't be physically in the same spaces, why not find outlets or paths through IACAC and join these different committees? The great thing is, for those of you that are like, oh my gosh, I just don't have a lot of free time, we really have like a very wide range of like time commitments and involvements for you. So committee wise, there are committees that meet maybe once a quarter, some meet once a month. So that's not a huge time commitment on your part. They might ask you to do a few additional things, nothing too taxing, I don't think. And they really then provide you ways for you to learn more about this job that you've taken on, the role that you play in your office, and from kind of a larger big picture perspective, issues and kind of topics and trends that surround the work that we do, which I think is so important if you want to stay in higher ed, whether it's admissions, advising, student life, whatever it's going to be. I think some of the things that you're able to learn through the opportunities we provide really give you that sense of knowledge that might not be available to you in your office, right? We get so focused on like, this is the job that I do, this is the work that I do, that these committees that IACAC has really provide you kind of a bigger picture understanding of how higher ed works and how we really are very all kind of interconnected, like Julie talked about. So committee wise, there's lots of things to do. If you're interested in advocacy or learning more about kind of the governmental policies and procedures, we have government relations, mentorship. I want to clarify quickly. You can join the mentorship committee and help Lisa, Kelly, and Margaret match do the matches, put the matches together, right? Or you could serve as a mentor or a mentee. So those two things are actually separate. If you're really interested with getting other people to join IACAC, you could join our membership committee, right? There's a whole list. IACAC.org has the list of committees, and it actually on the website, we're trying to make these updates as we go to make it just easier to understand, like what each committee does, what their role is, what the goals are that they have for the year, the events that they put on in a year, the meetings that they host, and what kind of person might be interested in joining these things. So you can see all of that on the IACAC website. As an IACAC member, you can then log into the members only section of the website and join the committees within our groups in the members only section. Now, some committees might have certain stipulations, right? There a certain amount of time in the profession or what have you. So those things will be noted when you go to look at this information. And if you ever have questions, you can always also email me. I'm happy to answer questions for you. But I would really encourage you, as a way to fill your bucket, as a way to learn more about the work that we do, as a way to stay connected, join a committee within IACAC. Help us out, help us ensure that the work that we do continues on, that we can provide that support, provide that education, provide that PD to the membership of IACAC in the state of Illinois. There are some upcoming events that I do want to highlight because they are, the committees have done such an incredible job. And mentorship, let me just give you guys a quick shout out. You have really rocked it out this year, right? Like in a year where we can offer no in-person things, they have really done a spectacular job of ensuring that we are still doing some of the things that we'd be doing in person and really expanding upon making sure that we as an organization stay connected. So kudos to the three of you. Additionally, we've got a summit, a transfer summit coming up in February. So our transfer advisory committee and team have worked really hard on a really great program. Registration is open now. I encourage you, if you work with transfer students, if you are the transfer admission person in your office, check it out. There's going to be a lot of great information shared during that program. It is a virtual program, as well as our upcoming district seminars. District seminars are going to be in March. Those programs really vary in terms of the topics that they provide, the opportunities. This is PD at its finest. Quick, short, easy to do. All of these committees have had to pivot, our favorite word, to virtual programming. And so that also will be offered at the end of March. I believe it's the 22nd through the 25th. In a virtual space. So kudos to that team as they navigate how to offer those programs and still provide you that PD that we so desperately need, I think, at this point. Additionally, I think we have some other committees that offer programmings programming that they are still trying to figure out how to best serve our membership to be able to do. I know that many committees are kind of divide work like we do in admissions and in our high schools, right, of first semester, second semester. So a lot of committees have just started kind of gathering back together to figure out what they're going to offer and provide this coming semester. Our ad hoc PD committee is working on the formation and creation of special interest groups. That those programs are almost ready to go. So you should be hearing more information about IECAC specific SIGs. In addition to Summer Institute, which they did a great job of having an ongoing virtual program over the course of this year, but more info will be forthcoming about some of the other traditional programs that IECAC offers. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, so if you're like, what is she talking about? What are these things that she's mentioning? What are all of these acronyms? IACAC.org has everything that you need and then some in terms of both the committee information, the programs, how to register, to get registered, etc. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention our StriveScan programs. So we are working, our Illinois College Fair team is working with StriveScan to produce programming this spring for our high school juniors, our high school sophomores, high school freshmen, as they start navigating the college search process virtually. So those programs and registration, the deadline is actually coming soon. So if your institution is interested in participating, this is for our post-secondary members, please make sure to register. Please make sure you let your other ICAC member friends know that registration, the deadline is coming. For our secondary members, we really want to ensure that this information gets out to your students. So as you are communicating with them, please make sure that that's included in your newsletters, your text messages, however you're communicating with your students, that there's some kind of college search stuff coming. We want to make sure that that gets out to high school students in the state of Illinois. Couple of last things. I know I've been talking for a long time, but I also I want to make sure that all of this gets out there. There is an IACAC scholarship available, or IACAC scholarships, I guess I should say, that are available to students at IACAC member institutions. So each scholarship is $1,000 and we award 10 of those each year. So we want to make sure that students are aware of these opportunities, again, for our secondary members or post-secondary members. If you're communicating with your students, please make sure to let them know that these scholarships are available. Our scholarship team is gearing up and ready to go for what turns out to be a very thorough and very intense and involved review process. Tony can speak to that as a former scholarship co-chair. So please make sure that you're getting that to students. We want to give that money out. There's 10 of them, so there are a decent amount. Each, like I said, are $1,000. So that's a little bit of extra help in a time when I'm sure some of our students and families could use that assistance. Other than that, I would just say that I am so grateful for all of the support that our committee chairs receive through our committee members. We have some credentials things, so bylaw changes coming up. We just kind of wrapped up requesting nominations from our members to kind of get the next group of IACAC leaders in place. All of that will be coming out in terms of how that voting process is going to work, a virtual membership meeting. That'll be ahead of conference, which Tony will get to. So there's a lot of stuff happening this semester already, and there will be more to come as our committees kind of plan and get ready for the year. If you ever have questions, you want to know something, you want to get connected to someone, I'm in the unique position this year to show my leadership skills and get you connected to the right people. So president@iacac.org gets you directly to me. I'm happy to help. I think it's harder when we're not in person to make those connections face to face. So don't feel weird about emailing me if you do need something or you have questions. That's really what I'm here to do. I'm serving our membership in a virtual capacity throughout this year and what will be an entirely virtual presidency. So if there's something that you want, something that you need, please let me know. I am happy to help. And And I think that's all that I have. Did I miss anything, anybody on this screen?
No,
Good?
I think we're changing up the membership cost things
Oh,
too.
yep.
You want to
So
touch on that?
the membership, for those of you that are interested, we sent out a survey. We have an ad hoc committee, so a group that we put together just for the sake of looking at our membership model. For those of you that are NACAC members, you should have seen or are aware that NACAC changed its membership model this past year. We are following suit. We don't have to do the same kind of system or setup that NACAC uses, but I think we wanted to explore what our best options were when it came to providing value to the membership that you pay for each year. So the membership process will look a little bit different in that it's going to look like, instead of a tiered system, which is what we use now, or each member pays a certain amount, a group from a school. So Tony at DePaul College Prep, the more members that he gets from DePaul College Prep within DePaul College Prep, they are going to pay a smaller amount per person, the larger amount of people that join, if that makes sense. There is more information on the website. There was information that was sent out in an email, and we will be sending more information to you all out about how this is going to work and what it's going to look like. But just know that that is something that our ad hoc committee spent a lot of time on, trying to figure out how to make sure that membership stays affordable, and also that we're still providing a value to you as an IACAC member. One quick last thing kind of in relation to NACAC. For those of you that are NACAC members, Erin is actually sending something out to you today. As a reminder, there is a webinar on Monday. NACAC is planning to make a pretty big change to how the board of directors and kind of the elections are held through NACAC. So typically, we as an organization, we vote on delegates for IACAC, and the delegates of IACAC then vote on kind of all of the NACAC business at the NACAC conference that's held each year. The change that they are proposing would be that any eligible NACAC voting member would be able to vote on the board of directors, for example. This is a big change, and it's exciting to see NACAC considering what other kind of peer organizations look like, collecting feedback. I think Angel Perez, the CEO of NACAC, has done a great job of collecting feedback from various groups within the umbrella of NACAC, the umbrella organization of NACAC. But there's a webinar to kind of explain more. So if you're a NACAC member and you're interested in hearing more about that, Monday from 11 to 12 Central Time, you do need to register through your NACAC account, but you'll be able to attend the webinar and get more information about that. So I really am done now. No more talking from me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
I really appreciate that, Megan. And she did talk a lot about committees. We certainly would welcome you in our mentorship committee. And it's, not just about planning or not just about doing the matches, but also planning events and hosting events and coordinating all of that. And I know, Margaret, do you want to mention about how you want to jump
sure.
in?
And so when you do also apply to be a mentee with our committee, I kind of take a look at the information that you put into your application, and I can suggest other committees that might, benefit you or that you might find interesting. So I do take a lot of time to read the things that you all are putting in there. So make sure that you are being honest and telling us exactly what you want and what you're looking for, what you enjoy, what's important to you. And then I can make some suggestions for other committees that you might want to join to help you get more connected to the organization as a whole.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Also, we take all of this and kind of all of the IACAC things, and it's kind of a culmination. We have conference. It's also professional development. Again, really great networking opportunities, and really, honestly, the most fun ever. It's so much fun. And I walk away every year just feeling so great that I'm part of such an amazing organization and have all the opportunities that I do to grow professionally. And not only to grow professionally, but then you get to have all these extra friends, pretty pretty cool. And so right now, I'm going to introduce you to Tony because he's going to talk about all things conference.
All right. Thanks, Lise. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say that conference is a bucket filler for a lot of us, right? I mean, it falls in the calendar traditionally towards the end of most of our second semesters, right? When we've sort of made it to the finish line or close to the finish line. And I totally agree. It's one of those events. It's kind of our flagship event that you circle on your calendar. You look a year ahead. When it gets on the other side of January and February, you start to really prepare yourself and look forward to it. Unfortunately, last year, this new reality caught us by surprise. I guess it was in mid-spring, right, Megan? And so all of Megan and her committee's work had to be tabled last year. Just wasn't going to work out the way we needed it to. Fortunately for us this year, we're able to make the most of it. And we've put together a virtual experience for you. I'm going to walk you through some of that. I'm going to try to share my screen. Hopefully it doesn't screw up anything here. And I'll walk you through what we have. How's that look? Somebody give me a thumbs up. All right, thanks. So our theme this year, if you're not already aware, is look for the good. I think the primary task of well, there's two real roles of the president-elect. I mean, the first role is to learn as much as you can, as quickly as you can. And I have two great mentors in Amy and Megan to do that. But the other big thing that's on your plate is to with the help of the conference team, to put together an awesome experience. So ours is totally virtual this year. The theme we've chosen is to look for the good. I mean, we've all had our challenges this year. This has been, I mean, I can't think of a more challenging year that I've gone through in my own life. So I think this positive message is something that was needed. So that theme will be weaved throughout the conference. This year, it's a 2-day experience. Traditionally in the past, it's been a 3-day experience or 2.5-day experience. We're on a Wednesday and Thursday this time around, which we like. I'm going to buzz you through some of the basics here. This is our website, iscac.org. Aaron does an awesome job of organizing this and making it look awesome. I'm a big visual person. I just think everything here looks really cool. So we have all our links here. Let me give you the general info. We're partnering with an outside organization. They're a non-for-profit that specializes in working with education organizations. They, for example, hosted ISCA's recent state annual conference. Got a lot of good reviews. So we really like what they do. They speak our language. We're really into their mission. So we'll have a separate platform to work with. This is your landing page right now. It's being built out as we move along. So check back in frequently to see what's new on the general information page. Let me pull up the schedule at a glance. So registration will begin in mid-February. I believe it's Feb 15th. So a little Valentine's Day present for you. You can register for conference or register your favorite person for conference. Make a gift, a Valentine's Day gift. Here's your schedule. So on Wednesday, so we're not going to start the day terribly early and we're not going to end it terribly late. One of the big things that was really important to me in the committee is that we value folks' lives here. I mean, I know we're all trying to balance everything. Some of us have e-learners at home. Some of us are in the office. Some of us we're trying to balance it all. A lot of plates in the air. So it's a very person-friendly conference. Day 1, Wednesday, and day 2, Thursday, we're going to kick off our mornings with office chair yoga. if you're familiar with the mentorship committee, you might be familiar with the office chair yoga. So we're looking forward to that. I'm excited to announce that our opening session is going to be keynoted by Stedman Graham. If you don't know Stedman Graham, Google him. He, among many other accomplishments, is a well-renowned public speaker. And he'll be touching on this idea of identity leadership and how to best build out your personal identity and brand to be the best professional you can be. We'll have a few groups of sessions. I'll touch on how to get involved there in a second. I'm also happy to highlight our IAS committee on day one, included in what is their traditional year-in review on day one. We're going to be presenting a panel of student affairs professionals to talk about how we as admissions folks and counselors can better show up for our students on the margins, how we can better become allies for our students. So we'll have a pretty dynamic allyship panel. I suggest you check that out. We'll give a little break, 4 to 6. You know, we're running kids different places. We're getting dinner on the table. We'll come back at 6. I would say, I mean, I have some tools in my toolbox, but I'd say the one I'm most proud of is I know how to throw a party. I don't know if you can put that on a resume or not, but for this purpose, you know, Donna, if you don't know Donna and I brainstormed this idea that we could still do a virtual tasting. For those that have been to the conference in the past, there's always a component that towards the end of the first day that encourages, you know, collaboration and just letting loose a little bit. So we'll have our Project Reach fundraiser. It's gonna be a virtual wine, mocktail, and beer tasting. We will be delivering that to your house. So at registration, you can opt in. This will be a separate registration, so your school doesn't have to pay for your booze. But there'll be a separate option to register for the virtual tasting. I may deliver it to your house. We may have it delivered. It's going to get to your place by that night. So we'll log on. We're going to have some sommeliers and some beer nerds walk us through it. And that'll be cool. And proceeds will go directly to Project Reach, which is a branch of ICAC that directly supports high school counselors and districts and schools that demonstrate need. That evening, we're going to have, it's our only evening for entertainment, is the piano guys. So we're gonna do a little fun virtual dueling pianos. Day 2, excited to kick it off again with office chair yoga. It's a session heavy day. I'm really excited to feature at 11 o'clock ICAC's first U.S. Congressperson to collaborate with us. Ruben Gallego, who, kudos to Rob Walton, is a South Side of Chicago native, grew up with Rob Walton, who's one of our CAR members and ICAC members. So he'll be speaking in the 11 o'clock hour, which is cool. And if you haven't heard of him, Google him. On January 6th, he was one of the heroes protecting a lot of folks in the Capitol. He's just a heck of a dude. Really happy to have him. We're going to close out the day officially. So there's a lot of meetings traditionally at our Weston and our other location conferences. So in that last session, that 2 o'clock session, that's when we will announce the folks that have been elected to our new executive board. We will have that voting open a week prior to conference. So it'll be open for that full week prior to conference. During that 2 to 3:45 session, we'll announce the winners, which will be a cool experience. We'll do that virtually. We'll also have awardees during that time. I imagine that time is when we'll probably identify a mentorship match, right? There'll be a lot of awardees during that space. The way we close out conference this year is pretty exciting. The the end panel is a who's who of former IACAC legends. Annie Kramer, John Backenstadt, and DJ Menifee are going to talk about the good that's come from the last 12 to 15 months. What have we learned in higher education that we can build on and move forward? What positive moments have come of this, and how can we best serve our students knowing this now? So I think we'll end with a really positive approach. That'll be moderated by the one and only Eliza Gilbert. So I'm excited. There's also a surprise in there that I don't want to give away, but you need to log on at 2 o'clock. Giving a little wink to Julie there, but you're going to need to be in that session. You're going to want to be there. We'll have a post-conference celebration, and that'll be it. It'll be a 2-day celebration. So not to take up a ton of your time, but session proposals. Right here on the website, we're taking proposals all the way through the end of January, so the 29th, I believe. Megan's team last year did a wonderful job of lining up a really diverse set of proposals and sessions. So we're carrying over a number of those, but there is space for new ideas. I would suggest, if you're looking for a way to expand yourself, stretch yourself a little bit, use this as an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and present. Partner with 1 or 2 other colleagues in the field and put together a proposal. If there's a topic you feel like is really valuable, maybe there's a gap in some of our programming, I'm open to it all. So our proposals group, our program group, will be reviewing those in the early part of February, and we should have a more thorough conference schedule for you prepared, sometime at the end of February, March. We should have a pretty good handle on what's available program-wise. So I really recommend you do that. Take that step and go for it. Okay, what else? Oh, conference committee. If you're looking to get involved, I know it's a weird year. In any other year where we'd be in person, we would definitely be putting out the call for volunteers. We need a lot of folks to help pull this event off. This year, we're doing it with a little bit tighter crew. Oh, that's the picture from your team, Megan, from last year. There's some good folks in there for sure. If you tab down, these are all of the folks that are currently involved in the conference preparation and execution. You'll notice there's little subcommittees. So, yeah, my name's at the top, but the real work is done here in the committee work. Okay, these are the grinders, these are the doers, these are the folks that have their hands on the event. So if you're really interested in getting involved and maybe you're not quite sure what to do or how to do it, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to maybe one of the conference subcommittees. I know a few of them are looking for a few volunteers. We could definitely use a few more voices here and there. So don't hesitate. You'll probably recognize a lot of names in here, folks that maybe you've seen out at college fairs, but I might reach out. There's a lot of different skill sets involved to pull this off. So whatever you're good at or whatever you want to be good at, we've got room for you. Costs, right? So I'm gonna back out of this now. Lisa, you asked me to share costs, right? Traditionally, our conference, the 2.5-day conference, has been in the $215 range. It's been in that low 200s cost range, and that's without a hotel stay or anything like that. We opted for a much lower number, about 40% of that cost. So we're at a $95 cost. That's the full package. That includes everything, both days, access to all the events. You'll also have access to recorded versions of everything that we do after conference. Most conferences, for comparison, if we look at other ACACs, are somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 80% of their traditional costs. So we're under half of that, which is good. For non-members, there's a slightly higher cost. It's $115. But I'm excited that we're rolling out a grad school cost this year. It's $25 for any students in grad programs that want to use conference as a way to network. I know there's a ton of grad students that are interested in the mentorship program. But consider $25 an investment in your future and in yourself. It's a really cool opportunity. So, did I miss anything, ladies?
No, I think you did a great job touching on everything. I want to say that when I first started with IACAC, besides mentorship, one of the things I tried to do to get involved with conference was just doing the stuffing party, where if we were in person, we'd be stuffing all of, papers and stuff like that into folders that we give out to everybody who comes to the attendance. So that's also a really great thing. And next year we will be in person. I'm putting that out there in the universe, right? We discussed that earlier. You got to put it out there to get there. So, so we'll be in person. So even if you are someone who can counter to see how many people are in the room for each of the sessions, or someone who's going to be stuffing, folders, there are plenty of opportunities. If you don't have the opportunity to get involved this year, for sure, take advantage of everything next year. Reach out to one of us, and we will for sure help provide you the route to do that in. So,
hey, Lisa, one thing I forgot that's really in line with Mentorship's mission is, with the help of the amazing Erin Hoover. Can't see Erin, but she's always right where we need her.
It's the truth.
We've developed a really cool experience for conference this year called the Appreciation Station. And this is an opportunity for folks to identify people in their professional lives that have helped them along the way.
Oh, I love that.
So we'll be able to, so it'll be open prior to conference. So for mentees that are on right now, great opportunity to say thank you. We'll have hashtags and everything else, but you'll put them in the appreciation station, you'll fill it out, and they will be delivered digitally to the recipients at conference. So
that's nice. That's a surprise to us. So yay, another way to thank your mentors, regardless of if they're a match or just even people within our profession that have touched on you. I love that. So thank you guys for that. So to carry this forward, again, even if you're not a member, you're welcome to come to our meetups. And so my co-chairs, you guys want to talk about some of the meetups that we've done in the past, maybe what we can chime in too about some ideas that we have moving forward.
Yeah, I can jump in. So interestingly, we've historically always had in-person meetups, which have always been great, and we've hosted those throughout the school year. As of last school year, we hosted our first summertime meetup, which was a kickball tournament. So part of what we've been doing as a committee is that we've been expanding opportunities for meetups, different types, that just don't consist of meeting at a restaurant or a bar, which, truth be told, is great. It's still socializing and networking, but we were trying to expand the different types of opportunities that we could offer to not only our committee members, but to our IACAC members. So we really thought outside of the box this year. My team is amazing, and we all kind of try to brainstorm and come up with different ideas, especially during this pandemic, right? And the question was, how could we still meet our objectives through the meetups, but how could we do it in a different way? How could we reinvent and think outside of the box to still come together as a community? Because not all is lost, right? We just have to rethink it in a different way. So back in the fall, we started off with Apple Orchard meetup, and that was fun. And then we've pivoted also to doing things virtually, right? Because that's definitely a safer way of trying to network and have meetups. So Lisa's actually, she deserves a lot of credit. She's really taking a lot of the reign and the creativity on a lot of our virtual events this year. And I think Lisa deserves to talk about some of them because she's really been a great coordinator of them.
You're so kind. Thanks. But I think it's certainly been a joint effort. So some of the things that we've done, we've tried to do it too, so we can include people around the state, because our membership is completely Illinois. Even though a huge portion of our membership resides in the Chicagoland area, we still want to be able to offer mentorship ideas and gatherings with people around the state. So I think one of the good things about this pandemic is that we have decided that we're going to move forward with not just in-person meetups, but we will offer also some virtual meetups for people who can't make it to certain things. We did some things like yoga chair or office chair yoga, which what we're trying to do even is carve out 15 minutes a couple days a week where maybe you could just take that break away from the grind of work and do some self-care. So and that one was probably our biggest, I think, most involved meetup so far, and she's amazing and will be at conference too, so that's going to be really great. We've done things like Positivity Rocks, where we did a paint and sip, where we did some pictures, painted some things on some rocks and then hit them throughout our communities. The good stuff with Dr. John Brawley, he did some relaxation techniques and some learn how to focus and bring positivity into your life. One of my favorites so far too, though, has been getting loopy with Julie. So our own Julie Nelson actually taught a group of us how to crochet, and our goal ultimately is to maybe crochet some scarves and hats and give them to students who are in need of some warmth. But this was my first attempt. We won't talk about that, but this is how good, like, look at how good that I've, progressed with Julie's help. So, so there's a group of us that I think are going to be continually meeting. If you're a crocheter, and I know a lot of men are like, crocheting is for men too, I'm telling you. So if you guys want to, meet up with us separately, let us know. We would invite you in, even if you don't know how, we can have Julie walk you through that process too. Other things, secret letter exchange, we did that. That was really great. And so we hope to kind of continue doing some of that even throughout the year instead of just the holiday. We did a cookie exchange, our Jingle Mingle meetup, which was more of like kind of a happy hour where we did like 2 truths and a lie and just kind of had some fun, wore our ugly Christmas sweaters. And then also currently, there's a bunch of other ones, but currently we're doing New Year, New You with one of our IACAC members, Robert Oliveri, and Jaime Vargas is also doing it. But Robert is I think a level 2 CrossFit instructor. He's amazing, and it's like 15 minutes of a workout. Yesterday I was sweating after 15 minutes and I'm sore today. So that's always a great one to look at. We do post all of those in the yoga and the good stuff videos. They're on our website, so you can take a look at those as well. And then can you guys think of any other things that, I know we have some new ones coming up.
And then we also have IACAC Reads.
Mm-hmm.
So, IACAC Reads was developed about 2 years ago through the Mentorship Committee, and it was an alternative form of a mentorship meetup, right? A more structured form of getting together and discussing a particular topic that comes from a book or a documentary or a podcast. So I did do a little count. Since over the past 2 years, we've actually hosted 6 different IACAC Reads where we read a book. We've read, the first one we kicked off was Becoming by Michelle Obama. Then we read The Privileged Poor by Anthony Abraham Jack. Third, we read The Years That Matter Most by Paul Tough. So that rounded out last year. And then this year we paired up with the IAS committee and we co-hosted How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. We just hosted 10 Steps to Successful Mentoring in honor of National Mentorship Month. So we did get a lot of things out of this book that we're going to actually implement into the mentorship committee. So we're excited about that. And that was by Wendy Axelrod. And then upcoming, so this is kind of the big announcement, even though our wonderful Erin Hoover has been communicated with about this. So we're going to push it out through Erin, but we are going to be pairing up. So mentorship is pairing up with HSCPD, and we will be co-hosting the next IACAC Reads with The Truth About College Admission, which is written by Rick Clark and Brennan Barnard. So
Yeah, and that acronym, that committee is the High School Counselor Professional Development Committee, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yes, thank you. Yes. And then we also did another version of IACAC Reads where we actually listened, or we watched a documentary. So it was piggybacking off of Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, which she actually did a documentary about a little under a year ago. And we also gathered together to review that. So it's been great, and we look forward to hosting the next IACAC Reads, and IACAC Reads, lastly, will also be a part of conference. So we're really looking forward to that as well.
Margaret, do you have anything that you want to add? No. So we do have some coming up. Some of them I'm going to keep a little bit hushed, but we have just simple ones that we're going to try to push out there. March Madness, we're going to try to do some brackets, no gambling at all, but just, you'll get bragging rights, which will be fun. I know. And who doesn't love bragging rights? So we're going to do that. We have possibly we're going to put out some Easter eggs. If you know, I always say, like, Taylor Swift always puts Easter eggs into some of her songs and her videos and her thing. So we're gonna have some Easter eggs where we put some things out there, and then you have to go look in your own communities for these things. So we have a couple other things coming up, and hopefully some fun summertime things where we'll be able to do it in person, because I just have a great feeling about that we're all going to be through this pandemic. Maybe not through it, but we're going to, walk along and continue through life and get back to some normalcy. So yeah, so I think at this point we have, I know we've gone over just a little bit, but I want to give the opportunity for anybody to ask us some questions. So if you're out there, I've been kind of following along, and I noticed that some of those have been answered, but if there's any kind of questions that you'd like to ask, we would for sure like to answer those. So anybody have any questions, or maybe even want to comment or anything? I'm looking at some of these. I noticed Zachary George, he's an IACAC member, but he's recently moved to like the other side of the country. But he said that that someone, as someone changing associations because of a move, he's learned. Apparently I don't have my glasses on either, but what he wanted to say was that this organization has been really valuable for him, and being on a bunch of different committees, and not all state affiliate organizations are like IACAC. I really do think it's a very special place, and don't be afraid to get involved. I know a lot of people sometimes are intimidated, but we need you, so get involved. Is there any other questions on here? I might have missed it. Oh, but when will registration for conference be open? I think she's targeting you, Tony, for that.
February 15th.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, also open February 15th, hopefully. The long-awaited IACAC Spirit Wear store.
I almost just texted you about this.
Oh yeah.
We can't forget.
Get your gear.
Yes.
So it's either IACAC branded, like the IACAC logo that everybody loves, or the Look for the Good logo. And you can get that on. There's going to be a few different options, different sizes, different everything.
Get some swag.
Have it delivered to your house, and you can pub it during conference.
Awesome.
Super cool.
That's great. I do want to say, so Casey Hauser kind of mention something on Facebook. So Casey comes from the community college side. So if you're a community college person watching this, come on and be a part of us. I think it's so, so important. I remember having a conversation with Casey. She joined the mentorship committee, and she said, I don't know if I belong within this. Like, I don't know how I can help. But she has been an amazing part of our committee, and just always being there and being willing to help and pitching in wherever she needs to. So she said that I know she said she was intimidated before, but I think really is enjoying being involved now in it. So we really appreciate you, Casey. So thank you so much. And hopefully other people from community colleges will also start really hooking in with us, especially, transfers are such an integral part now of higher education. And so we really need you. So please come on and be a part of us. Yeah, so I think we can wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I think is this our third or our fourth? I think this is our fourth, maybe, right? Facebook Live event? I don't know. Anyway, the years are all meshing together, and so we're going to move it from here. Hopefully we will see you all at conference or at the next mentorship meetup. So please take a look on the IACAC community feed and within your forums, and take a look there, and also look in your emails and on our website for further information. So thank you so much. Happy mentorship meetup. Happy mentorship month, National Mentorship Month. Give your mentors big hugs, even if it's virtual. I know. And take care and have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.